Hi guys, ignore my pink face. When I wear pink, my face looks more pink. It's just what happens. So, gosh, I hope I'm not getting sick. I feel like so much has changed since I picked up the camera. To give a brief writing update so you don't have to waste your time watching this whole video. I'm just keeping it real. I have been working really hard at rewriting, my first chapter, or just, I guess, writing a new first chapter, because I plan on still using the first chapter I used to have and just pushing it further back. Basically, if you didn't see my last video when I had met with my writing director, she talked about sort of what to look for in a first chapter, or what to include in a first chapter, and I really felt that my first chapter was a little bit too plot driven, and I totally agreed with what she said about getting to know the character better first. So when I was describing it to Zach, he kind of put it as like, so you don't want to start with like the big plot, you want like a mini plot, aka like a subplot. And I was like, kind of. And so basically, like, I mean, because my story, it does have a little world building aspect, it does have sort of like a powers, I guess you could say magic aspect, and that's going to be revealed later in the story. I kind of want, you know, to introduce my characters to you without all of that stuff first, so that you fall in love with them first, and then you're driven into the inciting incident. I always like mix that word up, but the inciting incident, basically I kept putting it at like the very beginning of the first chapter, so like page 1, like that was my opening, which I think can be really cool for a story, but just for my story, where I feel like I want it to be more character driven than what it has been in the past, I wanted to try and push my inciting incident a little bit further back. So my goal is to put it at the end of chapter 1, and that is proving to be a huge struggle for me. Like, I just sent my writing director a new chapter 1, and I realized I totally failed. I put the inciting incident on like page 2, like, and so I'm doing it again. And we're meeting tomorrow because I was like, I'm sorry, what I sent to you is trash, like, or not trash, but just like, that's not what I meant to do. Anyway, we have a lot to catch up on, guys. NaNoWriMo starts in like 2 weeks, and I have actually been doing some prepping. Not purposefully, like, oh, today is NaNoWriMo prep day 16, but just, I realized I wanted to get a better idea of where my story was going. So I'm kind of afraid to completely outline, because I feel like my writing is better when I don't try to outline the plot points, because then it feels like I'm kind of just forcing myself to connect the dots versus letting my story happen more organically. But I do need some direction. Like, I need to kind of know where I'm going. So that has been my happy medium I have found so far with this draft 2. So I am trying to loosely guide each chapter as I'm writing it. Kind of one chapter at a time, while also focusing on like the bigger picture and like figuring out, okay, where do I want this book to end? So I would like to have a little bit more guidance in my chapters before November 1st, like as far as like a whole book structure, but I don't want to overforce it, because like I said, then I kind of get like, it feels shallow then. But my life has gotten extra challenging because, well, as you guys know, or if you've seen my videos in the past couple years, I'm getting married in February, so that is no longer far away. That is like soon. And so I have been spending my weekends doing some serious wedding stuff. Like last weekend we made all the envelopes. This weekend I will probably be making the actual like wedding invitation inserts. You guys are all totally invited. I'm just kidding. But I got some like plot twist. I'm recently filling in for somebody who's higher up than me at work. They left, and so in the interim of them hiring a new person, I am taking on some of their tasks. So I've like moved my office, I've like taken on this huge extra multiple roles while still doing my current job, and I'm working overtime in order to juggle the 2 jobs basically. So that has been an interesting transition. I just started this week, and so you know, I feel like I'm still kind of like learning the ins and outs of it. I mean, it's going well, but it's just my days are so much more compact. Like before, like obviously when I was at work, I was working, but I would kind of have like a few minutes to just kind of breathe and like think slowly, like, oh, what should I do next? And at lunch, I would just kind of like, you know, either like goof off, or like sometimes I would work on my story. Sometimes if I was doing something like monotonous at work, I always say that word wrong. How do you say that word? But I would like kind of maybe be plotting my story, and I'd write ideas down. I would like have a Google Sheets open like on my work computer. I can't do that anymore. Like my job now, my days are so compact, like I have to constantly be like go, go, go. So it's mentally taxing. So I admit it makes it a lot harder when I come home to then like keep going. Like I come home and I'm just like, I want to go to bed. It is 6 o'clock. Well, I mean, it's later than when I get home. It's like 7 o'clock. So yeah, like my days have gotten busier. I'm hoping that like come November, I'll just be used to it, and so it won't be a big deal, but I'll probably be doing this for all of NaNoWriMo, like, because it will take a while to hire this position, since it is such a vital position, but that's okay. Life just throws you curveballs, and you just gotta refocus. You know, this is important to me, so I'm going to keep it a priority, which I have been the last couple weeks since Preptober started. Even though I haven't done like any Preptober activities or anything officially, I have had it in my mind this month to like really get planning and like get the momentum going, so that come November 1st it's not going to be this huge shock, which I think is the mistake that I always make, whether it's Camp NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo, is like I kind of like in October think to myself, you know, oh, like I'm gonna save my writing juices till November, and November 1st I'm just gonna start pumping it out. But it's like, I don't know why I haven't learned the lesson yet, but when you write every day, it's easier to write more every day, because it's like this, it's like running. You like take a long break for running or exercising. When you do it again, it is so much harder the first few days, versus if you keep up a light exercise, you know, you don't have that same struggle if you're like, okay, well now I'm gonna run a 10K. It's like, okay, well I'm trained, so like it's not gonna be as hard. Does that make sense? But I feel like writing is the exact same way, you know. It's easier to get better, get faster if you train yourself, you train your creative muscles, and you train your habits, I guess. What I'm saying is super obvious. This is not new information, but I am like putting it into practice really for the first time, and I'm noticing a difference. And I notice it as a difference every time I get to the end of like NaNoWriMo, but then like come December 1st, you're just like, oh yay, like I can take a break, and then you just keep taking a break, and it's not good news. That's not gonna be this year. So, because like I said, I am trying to finish my second draft by the end of this year. I would love for it to be the end of NaNoWriMo that I finish it, but I just don't think that's going to happen. For the simple fact that my story is not going to be just 50,000. I'm aiming for maybe like 80,000. I don't know. It might be more, it might be less. But I think 80 is it's a good number. I don't want to go over 100. I don't even want to go over 90, especially as a first-time author, and I plan on traditionally publishing. I just think that would be a harder sell. But I don't want to cut the story short. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay. I tried to do some writing this morning during my commute. So I take the subway, or the T as it's called in Boston. I take the T every day to work, and it's not a very writer-friendly situation. I mean, it's better than like if I were driving in, but it's just, the seats, if you've ever been on a subway, they're not very spacious, so you can't like put your arms out to write, and like writing on my phone is hard. And so I have an iPad now, and I've been kind of using that, but it's still hard to type on that thing, because like, I don't know. And then I got really self-conscious that people were reading what I was writing, and so I made the font really, really small so that I could just barely make it out. I don't know, it kind of worked. It wasn't ideal, but you know what? It will be a way to get some words in. in November. And it was a way to get some ideas down at least today. Like I said, I'm meeting with my writing director tomorrow, so I'm going to have hopefully more wisdom coming my way, some more feedback, and I will talk to you guys about that. I'm excited to show you my first chapter of like this draft, like my first draft of this second draft of chapter 1. That did not make sense. But I'm excited to show you the before after of my chapter 1. Like I said, I'm going to make another video similar to my short story video. I don't know if it's the wisest thing in the world, because there's still a good chance that if or when I publish this book, that chapter is not going to be the final chapter, so I'll just have to put that disclaimer in. You never know what an editor is going to want you to change, so just keep that in mind. And I might even change my mind myself, like in the spring when I am trying to do my final draft. Remember when I said I want to start querying on January 1st? Wasn't that funny? It's not gonna happen. But I am gonna start querying in the summer, and I'm like so excited. I'm gonna be married then. Whoa, that's weird. Yikes. I'm gonna sign off. I will check back in with you guys tomorrow after my director's meeting, and hopefully I will have some, like I said, exciting wisdom to share. Alright, it's past midnight, so I guess I'll get started. Woo-hoo! I didn't ask for rudeness. So I really thought getting a cat would help me feel more like a writer, but really it just makes my writing filled with yelling at her when I'm not typing. Kim, leave the box alone. What are you doing? Kim? It is now, I don't even want to say what time it is. It is now almost 4 o'clock in the morning. It's fine, totally fine. I'm actually not tired though. I've also had like a whole pot of coffee, so that probably explains it. But so I'm writing my new intro, my new chapter 1 version. What am I on, 32? I don't even know. And I'm trying to purposefully write it, as you guys know, not too action heavy. And I'm having these doubts that it's now just kind of boring. So I'm trying to keep it fast paced, but like when you're writing, everything feels slow just because like, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like it just feels slower than it is because like it takes longer to write than to read, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm just worried now it's too slow and I'm like not finding that perfect balance. I mean, I know that something being character driven isn't necessarily slow plot wise and action wise, so I'm trying to not keep it static. Oh my god, I'm just rambling. The best example I can think of was there was this opening scene in one of my classmates' stories that was like a year ago or something like that, and it was a very fast-paced opening where like a girl was running through the airport trying to catch her flight, and so it was still really like high intensity, high pace, but you know, she was just trying to catch a flight. Like it wasn't like the main plot of the story. So maybe I need to do something like that. I don't know. I just feel I'm doing too much backstory right now, but I know it's like chapter 1, so you want to do some backstory. You want like your characters, or sorry, your readers to know. I don't know. I feel like it's getting to that point where I'm starting to not make sense. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Basically, I don't want it to be too exposition heavy, and that's what I'm afraid is happening. But it's like at the same time, I'm just thinking, well, I need to say something because otherwise my readers are going to have questions, and I have such a habit of leaving too many questions because I like want to be all mysterious. So I'm trying to explain things a little bit. You guys. This is when I like just need someone to read it and just tell me, is it too slow paced? Is it too exposition-y? Do you want more action? What do you think? And thankfully, I have someone who will tell me that. Because I just don't know. I'm so full of so many doubts. I mean, I like it. It's just, I don't know. It's different than how I normally start chapters. Every single thing I've done, I start like with a really intense opening scene, always. And so it's hard to slow it down. I don't have to slow it down. I'm using the wrong words. I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's hard for me not to jump right in with the main question of the story, because it's so tempting to just like draw you right in. Kind of like with Dan Brown books, at least the two I've read so far, with Angels and Demons and Da Vinci Code. I have a habit of like wanting to do something like that. But I'm trying something different, and I think it will be better. I just need to trust that and understand that it's going to have some growing pains as I figure out what that looks like. I'm telling myself everything's okay. Also, look how cute Kimmy is. Normally, she sleeps in the bedroom with us, but apparently she's out here keeping me company while I write, which is so sweet. Good girl, Kimmy. Even though she's like super far away. My camera does not zoom out very fast. Cup number 3. Not including the one this morning. Remember when I said I was trying to quit caffeine? That was cute, right? Okay, it is 4:45 in the morning. Whoops. Kimmy is scratching her scratch post, and it is not even the latest that I've stayed up writing. My short story, when I got my wisdom teeth out, I'm pretty sure I was up until 6:30 in the morning, so that's my record. Something about the witching hour. I think it's just that the whole world is so quiet, except for this cat, that it just makes me feel productive and focused. Because even on social media, everyone is sleeping. Though it's Saturday, so people probably will start waking up soon. I'm not 100% convinced that I love it, but I do think that the tone of it is much better. I like that it's more character driven. I like that it's not too fast jumping into the story. I think I can have more ties in of the main story, like hints of what's to come. I tried to include a little bit of like paranormal intrigue, but I think I kind of missed the boat, and so I think I'll need to tie in that a little bit more. Obviously the end of the first chapter does bring up the crystal skulls, which is the I guess you could say the tying plot, the theme, or not the theme, oh my god, all my words are gone, it is early morning. It is what my series is about, or this current novel is about, so I think it's not bad, but I'm curious how it reads. It's so hard to get a judge of how it reads when you just wrote it, and I didn't want to read back over it because I don't like to read what I've written right away. I like to wait. And so I think maybe in the morning I'll read it over, or I might not even do that. I might just wait to see what she says about it and then read it back over myself. I don't know. I haven't decided, but I better go to bed soon because I'm meeting with her at 4, which is only, 11 hours away now, so hopefully I sleep in this morning. Otherwise I'm going to be really tired for Monday. Official goodbye until after my meeting. Goodbye, everybody. Kimmy, I have to film. Kimmy. I mean, you can stay in here with me and listen to me ramble, but like, I don't appreciate the judgment. So if you couldn't tell by that, that means that I met with my independent study director. I'm sorry, I hate how much this mattress squeaks, but this is the only other room we have in our apartment because we live in a 1-bedroom. So she brought up fantastic things, as always, but oh my gosh, what do I even say? What do I even sum up? I don't even know. Oh my god, what did she even bring up? I don't know. I'm like, oh. Honest to God, I think I am getting so spoiled by having such detailed feedback for my drafts, like not even just this semester, but being in school in general. And it's like, the rest of my book I'm so afraid is going to be trash because I'm not going to have this direct feedback for it. Oh, but for my thesis I will. But I want to be done with this book by my thesis. Right. So she brought up 1,000,001 points, all of which I will get to at the end of this semester when I talk about what I changed. So I'm not going to trouble you with all those details. But I did want to come on here and confess something that is breaking my heart a little bit. So I don't know how much I've said this, but I have this scene in mind that was the first scene that came into my mind when I first came up with this idea. Pretty much all of my story ideas, they aren't just like ideas of things. Like, it's not like with this I thought, oh, I should do a story about the crystal skulls. No, it was like a specific scene and then that kind of wove into it. And so like every time I've had a story idea, it opens with this random scene that pops in my mind. And I've always told myself, like, no matter what I edit, that first scene that first came to my mind will always be in the final draft because it's like an important keystone. It might not be the opening chapter, but I always wanted to put it in there. Guys, I think tragically, I am gonna have to like break this desire, this dream of mine. Like, I don't think my opening scene, my first idea, is going to fit into the story anymore, which is like really uncomfortable for me to say. I have no problem cutting out characters. I have no problem cutting out scenes, cutting out dialogue. I mean, like, it's not always easy, but like, I don't take any of that. I don't attach to any of it. But the one thing I attach to is that first scene that came to mind. And this is the one that I think is gonna have to be cut out, and I'm freaking out. I don't know why. I just always pictured, here's what it is. I always pictured the group. Okay, let me introduce you a little bit more into my world now that it is starting to cement a little bit more in my head as I am revising. Basically, I can announce, by me announcing this, I'm going to change my mind, but I think I can more confidently announce I've decided on a POV officially. I know. Where's the confetti? Where's the champagne? This is a huge deal. I am going to do mostly dual point of view. I'm still probably going to have some chapters here and there with just like a random POV when I feel it's important. I'm not going to tie myself down to dual, but it's basically going to be a story about two characters and switching back and forth of them until they combine, at least in the beginning, until more guardians of skulls are introduced. Haven't gotten there yet, so calm down. That probably wouldn't be till the second book anyway at this point. I don't really know. Okay, so, but I'm gonna do third person, nixing first person, nixing second person. It's all gonna be just third person and a little bit of a distant third person. But we start with one of my characters, Paul. So Paul lives in Maine. He's got two close friends. One's his cousin, one's just one of their best friends. The three of them are really close. I've decided to make them all the same age. It's tying in together as a young adult, more targeted to what the genre needs or what agents and readers look for, because before it was just like they were all different ages. It made no sense why it was a young adult. I know, I'm crazy. And so it's gonna open with the three of them. And they know a little bit about the legend of the crystal skull from Paul's grandfather, who was an archaeologist, and he kind of like raised them on these legends. And things go down where basically you learn the legend is true. And so my opening scene was always that the three of them found Anna. Anna is one of the guardians or the owners of a crystal skull, and she has the power of immortality. So she lives forever. I know what it means. Sorry. Harry Potter quote, if you were curious. So it always was in my mind that they found her, and they found her doing like just some like ordinary thing. And I never crossed my mind to have her find them, or like her go to them first, like even if they still find her, but like her go to that place. But my director was saying, so like I opened with the three boys and they are in the town. I'm just gonna come out and say all these details. They are in the town of Pemaquid Point, Maine, or in Bristol, Maine, and Pemaquid's a village within Bristol, blah, blah, blah. But I open it in such a way that the place becomes, she says, almost the character itself. It becomes a really important place. And so she's like, I don't know if that was your intention, but if it was, like, I just want you to know how it's reading. And so to me, this place is going to mean something, and that to have the dual point of view and the two character arcs that need to be combined, the way it's reading right now is that they are going to combine at this special place, Pemaquid Point. So instead of them going to her, she's going to have to come to Pemaquid. Oh, I just got an idea. Shoot, where's my pencil? Do I have a pencil? I have a pen. Oh my gosh. Must write down idea. Kim? Okay, I don't know how quite that idea is going to integrate, but I think there's something to it. Okay, just had to write that down. My cat is scratching at the door, so I don't even remember what I was saying. But yeah, so she's going to need to come to them instead. I still like the idea of them somehow finding her. So like she comes obviously for a related reason, but doesn't know of them. And they kind of figure out who she is, and I'll write it in a way that makes sense and that isn't coincidental, because I hate coincidences in stories and law. No. So yeah, I have to give up my opening scene, or my original scene, and it's hard. Oh my god, it's so hard. I imagine it would be similar to like having an idea for a story, like a main character comes into play and you start planning the story and then realizing that that character doesn't really make sense anymore, and like so you're deleting like that origin. And it feels weird. It's like, oh my god, but this origin is what started it all. Now you want me to get rid of that part? Like, oh my god. But my story has grown outward. It has blossomed. It has taken new roots. It has expanded. It doesn't need that origin seed, which is now just the shell casing of the seed, because the seed has grown into this beautiful plant. So I need to let it go. I need to accept the seed is no longer necessary. My plant has grown and it's planting its own seeds. How's that for a metaphor for you? Okay. I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, I said I was going to talk a little bit about NaNoWriMo. This year, I think I did last year too, but I want to do daily videos again. I think last year I did weekly, because like, this does take time, especially when I'm writing, like making these videos. However, when I do daily vlogs, I get way more writing done, because in my mind, it's like, if I don't get any writing done, I feel this, if I like plan to have grace on myself or use an excuse and like not do any writing, then I won't have a video. And like me needing it to be complete and can't have a gap, because that just wouldn't line up perfectly and make sense, I need to do something, like even if it's just heavily plotting or just like writing something, even if it's not the full word count. So I've learned, as much as it adds another task onto my plate, I am more productive when I do daily vlogs during NaNoWriMo. Plus, the benefit is for you guys, the videos won't be nearly as long. I like watching recaps. Christina Horner's NaNoWriMo videos are still my favorite, because she condenses her entire month into one video, where it's just like, she'll talk for like 10 or 20 seconds each day to kind of give you an update, so you kind of like get these mini like pop glimpses into her journey, and it's super addicting. I'm gonna link her NaNoWriMo series down below. She unfortunately doesn't do them anymore. She kind of like signed off of YouTube, but they're still the most inspirational to me to watch. I'd love to recreate that one day, but I don't think I can only talk for 20 seconds in a clip. Like, I just don't think that's possible. So I don't know if it's a style I can actually ever adopt for my NaNoWriMo videos. Plus the downside to that is you don't see how I did until the very end, and I like to be inspired before I start NaNoWriMo and during NaNoWriMo. So I mean, I guess you can just watch all the old ones, blah blah blah. Anyway, hope that they are inspiring. And I think I mean, of course, like, I hesitate to talk too much about my story because spoilers, blah blah blah, but since I'm really just working on the first chapter, as long as you guys find it helpful, I don't mind starting to share a little bit more details about my book. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me, but I think it's just helpful instead of just being super vague to give you actual details. Kind of like with my short story, I was able to actually talk about the whole thing. I would love to be able to talk about the beginning of this with the caveat that you guys know it won't be a complete surprise when it eventually comes out one day. I mean, I'm not gonna give away the ending or anything like that, but yeah, so you guys will know some details if that's okay. And some of those details that you learn might change, so don't get too attached to them, because I am drafting and revising, so yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go because this video is already long. I already know it, I'm sorry. But like I said, my little announcement, at least for NaNoWriMo, is that I will be uploading daily. Because why not do more? You know, why not? Why not add more? No, it will keep me honest and it will keep me productive. So I think it's all overall a very good thing. Editing will just be a bear, so don't expect anything crazy. I mean, you guys know not to expect any crazy editing. So, but just extra don't expect it. Please forgive any mistakes I might have. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm rambling. I have a lot of thinking to do. Oh, I'm so sad. How am I gonna connect it? I mean, I know how to connect it. It's really simple. Like, it's not a huge change to delete the scene, which I think says a lot about the scene. Sucks, man. Okay. Bye. Hey guys, I just wanted to give a quick update here at the end. It is now October 31st. Happy Halloween, which also means, of course, tomorrow is the first day of NaNoWriMo. And so, as I mentioned, I'm going to be daily uploading. I'm so excited, so overwhelmed at what I'm about to take on. But I know it's necessary in order to get this done. Not the daily uploading part, that part's not necessary. But it's necessary for me because I find I'm much more productive when I'm daily uploading, because I feel like I have to do something every day, otherwise my video is going to be pointless. So, with that said, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you are also participating in NaNoWriMo. If you are not participating in NaNoWriMo, that's cool too. I considered doing my own thing this year, but you know what? I like feeling a part of something. That's just me. So I am, of course, just doing my second draft, so I guess I'm a NaNoRebel. I've never not been a NaNoRebel. One of these days. One of these days. And I was gonna do a whole video talking about my plans, talking about my schedule, but the truth is, I'm just gonna write the words when I can. So I don't know if that's gonna be on the train. I don't know if it's gonna be after work. I'm gonna find out. I've never had a really awesome routine I've stuck with anyway, so this month I'm just gonna be figuring it out and doing my best, and it's gonna be crazy and chaotic and busy and frazzling and hopefully still filled with inspiration and breakthroughs and revelations and all that good stuff as I continue to work through what is hopefully my final, like, huge revision stage. I obviously know I'm gonna have to do more edits after this, but like, I want to get the meat of it done. So wish me luck. Wish me luck for tomorrow, and good luck to you guys. I wish I could stay up until midnight and start, but I have to work tomorrow and I have to get up really early for work, and I am feeling like I'm getting sick, so I don't want to get too little of sleep, but I will be joining during the waking hours tomorrow. Happy Halloween, everybody. I will leave you with a glimpse at the saddest pumpkin pot pies you have clearly ever seen. This year, there wasn't too much effort. I got too much going on, but I tried to make them look like pumpkins. You're not going to be able to tell. I'm so sorry. Can you see it? Can you kind of see it? It's really bad. This is like a Pinterest fail. I've done it well before, but this year it just didn't happen. Happy Halloween, everybody, and happy writing. See you guys tomorrow. Oh my God.